And 1.
Welcome in, everybody.
3 and 2 and can you make this screen to where I have more picture and less chat?
Oh, yes.
Somehow this got ridiculously huge.
I was messing around with that for the retailer thing. There we go. Max it out. There we go. Welcome in, everybody.
Hello.
How are we all doing?
Chris, we're all doing great. How are you doing?
I am doing great. Thank you for asking. Scorched Earth, Gilborn, Sarcastic Grandpa, Cats, Wad, Kriegs, Wad, Super Duper.
Cats, Wad.
Cats, Wad. I said Wad twice. Frigid Phoenix, thank you so much for that sub. You're the man.
Good old Cats,
11
Wad.
months. Pikmin's Horror. Oh, I just happened to be on TikTok and y'all came up. So I'm going to watch from here today. Sweet. That's good. I'm glad that's moving smoothly. I was reconnecting some stuff. So this is a mighty fine red workup, Jason. I do like this.
It's the same as yesterday. I didn't change it.
Let me ring this one up. Cool bling. How are we all doing today?
You just asked that. We're doing great. How are you doing?
I'm waiting with anticipation for One Step Line 2 to come out for set 2. My birthday's coming up, so I'm going to get it for myself.
Oh, it's
nice.
so good.
Michael, what's going on? Going to have me wanting to play Warmachine. Michael B. Woodward, how you doing? From Facebook.
Mike, what's going on?
How y'all doing?
Yeah. I'm back in fully and spreading the Warmachine truth to anybody that will listen. It has been my game of choice since the early 2000s when it came out.
The Warmachine truth. Okay.
It's just one of those things that when they decided to go back to their roots, and
right.
I think we have Steamforge to blame for that. They've done a good job of leaving it alone and only making the changes that I think are really necessary. And it's in a really good place. Feels really good to play. Played a game with Chris the other night. Had a lot of fun doing that. Chris has got an army printed out.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun army. I got to give it some more. I got to figure out what I want to do with its color a little bit more.
A lot of brown pigs right now.
Yes, I have a lot of, they're like warthog style pigs. They're cool models. I just need to figure out how I want to make them pop out.
I thought for sure you were going to really lean into the javelina thing.
You know what?
And I was the one that mentioned it, and you were kind of nonplussed. And I was like, Chris, that's an Arizona thing. You should totally lean into the javelina.
Gotcha.
I don't know what javelinas look like, but you have all those hogs, so it makes sense.
You know what?
Right?
The javelinas they have darker, they're very dark brown, like almost pepper fur.
Okay.
That's what it is. They have very coarse hair. My grandfather actually, had an old taxidermied one in his office.
Oh, really?
Yes. And he was an avid smoker, so I actually inherited that. And unfortunately, I couldn't keep it in my house.
Because it was too much like cigarette smoke, everything.
It reeked of it. It almost was like an air freshener for tobacco.
Reverse air freshener?
Yeah.
It was an air horrible, like made it horrible?
It was really bad. But anyway, so that's a good idea, though. So now I feel like I should do that.
Yeah, the javelinas.
That's not a bad idea.
That's what I literally thought that's why you chose pigs.
No, but...
I was like, you have 7 of those freaking things. It's like, those should be javelinas.
Oh.
Because they run around in packs and eat people's garbage, and that's what your whole army does.
That's true.
You should call it Javelina Hell. That's your list name.
Javelina
First
Hell.
one's free.
First
It's
one's
expensive
free.
after this.
My Patrick
Sasquatch, what's going on?
Who's Ghost Hunter? I know you over there. My FLGS has 3 core expansions for Warmachine. One is Trolls, one is one of the metal snake thing. I can't remember what that is.
Shadow Flame Shard. I have the Shadow Flame Shard. We started painting Deathjack, and then I said I wanted to paint Khador.
Yeah.
Because the Khador army showed up,
right.
and that's where my heart is. Khador, when I got back into it at into Mark 2, beginning of Mark 3, Khador was what I started with the Armored Core stuff. And so that's where my heart lies.
Yeah. Don't forget to name one of the pigs Wilbur. I'll do that. Paint
Charlotte's Web. Now you need a spider. They didn't have a spider.
Print, paint, repeat. Question for everyone: if you could hang out with any Warhammer character for a day that wouldn't harm you, who would it be and why? Jason, I have no idea how to answer that.
Any what?
Any Warhammer character.
Like from the lore.
Pikmin, yes, I believe you can. Yes, I'm sorry. You can buy the STLs for Warmachine on
My Mini
Mini Factory.
Yeah, some of them.
Some of them, yes. Not all of them.
So you can 3D print an entire army. He's printing out his pigs.
Yeah.
You can print out a lot of the old armies that they have decided not to make new models for, like Grimkin, the Mark III models, basically. I think you can print out most of the Trollkin.
They have a lot of options, that's for sure.
So those are models that they say they're not going to redo. They're old armies, and so they are making those models available as STLs. The new ones you can't. You can get some of the extreme sculpts as STLs. So they have some stuff you can do with STL for the newer models, but it's limited, I think. I haven't gone on and seen it. Chris has seen more than I have.
Yeah,
they're the welcome pack, and
they're super cool. But yeah, like what Jason said, they're not like giving STLs for a lot of their current updated things. You still buy them, at your store. Or, I'm curious a lot. You don't see it at many stores though.
No, Gamers Guild has quite a bit. They've been backing it, and there's a bunch online on like eBay from retailers who have an online presence. But in actual stores, there's a place down in Tempe that Jordan said he got, and then there's a place in Tucson that Jordan went and bought some models from.
Yeah.
Jordan said he drove to Tucson to buy models.
He did. He did drive to Tucson.
Which is pure insanity, but good on him.
It's a bold move,
commitment.
Cotton.
That's commitment right there. I just order mine from the internet from people that have had it and already decided they don't want to play it anymore.
Yeah.
And I get them cheaper that way, like these. They come pre-built and broken in the mail, and I just fix them.
Pre-built and broken in the mail.
And I just fix them and then paint them on stream. That's more my speed. I would prefer the not broken part. These were fairly okay.
Yeah.
80% of the army was good, and every warjack was broken off at the ankles. That was really infuriating.
Let me go back up. Somebody had a quick one here.
So going on and using the light bronze to start giving a highlight area to the bronze metallic. Remember that you can highlight and treat metallics just like normal colors. And before I go and do the filters on this model and darken things up and give it some grit, I want to go in and brighten up some of the bronze.
Let's see. Jeff before Dishonor, what is the best glue for 3D printed resin?
Super glue. I use super glue for every model. Some people laugh at me, but that's just the way I am.
It likes the feel.
Way too good. I use super glue for everything. Plastic, metal, resin, you name it.
Carl, I've learned the hard way that miniatures are not created equal after a run in the Infinity Mechs. Any recommendation for good plastic kits for sci-fi that aren't GW?
It's always a great question, right? Because
they make good stuff.
Plastic sci-fi, there aren't a whole lot. There are the Starfinder miniatures for the sci-fi version of Pathfinder that are done on sprue that have some neat things. They're not super high detail because they're very good value though.
Yeah.
And so there are those. So you might find some luck with those. The new StarCraft game is shipping, but I don't know when you'll be able to actually buy it.
Yeah,
that's from Archon Studios.
Star Wars Legion.
Star Wars
TK
Legion
says.
is good sci-fi if you're into the Star Wars franchise. That's from Atomic Mass Games. Our friends over there, they do great stuff. So there's a lot of really good available sci-fi models. It just depends on what you like as a property. You know, there were Alien or AVP and Alien properties that were done by maybe Battlefront Miniatures, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And some different games in that genre. But reality is that you got 40K is the big sci-fi game if you're other than Infinity. And if you're not happy with the Infinity stuff, they do a lot of Siocast and Metal. Neither of which are the easiest to hobby, but can both be workable. You know, the Metal especially, but it's tough.
Yeah.
I totally understand why people that are newer to the hobby don't want to fight with metal miniatures. Are they even doing metal anymore? Does anybody know? I haven't painted or messed with any Infinity models in a long ass time.
Howard Katz, what's going on? You know, I bought some. What are they? Like these little gnome models that were pewter a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
But that wasn't like a big box game. That was just some artist who crafted them, I guess, or made them. But I don't know. I haven't seen metal in a long time, or I've heard about it in a game system recently.
Yeah, metal is typically, it's much easier to make the molds for because you could technically do them in your garage.
Okay.
And then you can spin cast the metal in your garage. So you will see like Metal King Studios, you know, Sean Sutter with Relic Blade.
Yep.
Still does some metal models, I believe.
I was going to say Relic Blade. What's the other one? Free Guild or something?
I don't know. Oh, yeah.
That one?
Free Blade.
Free Blade.
That one we have a lot of models laying around that are metal. And again, great stuff. So.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Was it Free? Yeah, it was.
It's Free
called
Blades.
Free Blades.
It's Free Blades. It's like it's a group that had run a D&D campaign for like 20 years and created their own world, and that's what Free Blades is a war game based around their little campaign world.
Sasquatch
Lots of really fun stuff.
Said I got a Reaper miniature recently that was pewter. Okay.
Yeah, they do some of their specialized like limited run. I forget what the girl's name is. They do for like Christmas and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, okay. They're still out there in the ether. The historical community is booming for metals in UK. Empress Minis, Old School War Games Foundry, etc.
Yeah, Empress and War Games Foundry make some great stuff. I've got some Empress miniatures that they were the only ones that did like early war German World War II stuff on horseback, so I have some of those.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a lot of people have moved into like more of the 3D printing and STLs and things like that, but you can still find some cool minis in metal. And in the historical gaming front, there's tons, absolute tons. My mind doesn't go there because we were talking about sci-fi.
Yeah.
And we weren't talking about wanting metal miniatures. We were talking about wanting plastic sci-fi miniatures, actually. So we kind of got derailed there, but.
Plastic sci-fi. Yeah, Legion's the first one that comes to my mind.
Legion's a big one.
But that's kind of, it is sci-fi, but it's specifically Star Wars.
Yeah, it's Star Wars. You if you like the Star Wars property, then it works great.
Why in my mind is Star Wars not sci-fi? I don't know.
It is. It's
almost like it's a separate genre.
It is not.
It's the same thing.
Same thing.
Howard Catcher, how am I do? Oh, okay, cool. You're over on Facebook. I see you. Coxie, thank you so much for that sub. 4 months. We appreciate you. Halo Flashpoint says Sasquatch. There's
Halo, yeah. Mantic's Halo Flashpoint game. I'm not a big Halo fan, so I never think about it. But they're bringing out more units for that, which is cool. More of the aliens, I think I saw. So that's always nice. Like I said, the StarCraft game has all 3 of the factions there, but I don't know how easy it is to get. I know they've just started shipping the Kickstarter in bulk.
What's that?
StarCraft.
Oh, right. Is there a cricket in here?
Probably.
I can hear them. Or they're probably right outside our door. I'm like, that's louder than normal. Oh, okay, they'll be at Gen Con with releases for StarCraft. Okay.
Yeah, it's on the way, though. They have been telling people July, and there'll be some stuff at Gen Con. They got a big booth, I think.
And you got BattleTech. Yeah, there's a lot out there.
Yeah, BattleTech
I
is
think
good.
we've answered the massive range. There are great plastic kits out there besides GW. That's the moral of that story. Coxie says, how do I go around painting a resin model that has a lot of cloth but there's no folds? It's flat. Okay. Painting resin model with a lot of cloth, but there's no folds. It's flat.
Well, I mean, all cloth can be done the same way. You paint it like everything else, just don't go as bright as you might with metal and such. The real question is, do you want a lot of texture? Then paint it with more brushstroke texture. Build up more of the like thread feel on it. Do you want it to be beaten up? Do you want it to look new? There's so many questions that I have when people ask that, because cloth is not like a silver bullet. Here's how you paint cloth. We show all the time how to layer up on things that have cloth, and it's really just a matter of how beaten do you want it to look. Is it on something, if it's all flat cloth, like on a cape, or I don't know what would be flat, then, determining how much of that texture you want, because the more texture you put on a small model, the more kind of rough the cloth will appear, which can be really cool. But if you want it to look really clean and royal, then just painting it like you would a normal anything else. The way you layer up your color, just paint it like you would anything else, and just don't go as bright, because it's that bright highlight on cloth that loses the feel. All right, so I'm going to glaze a little bit with this. Not really a glaze, kind of a medium glaze. It's still fairly thin, as you can see.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do that because this surface faces mostly upward. So a lot of this top part of this shield will be bright. So I'm going to start by kind of glazing a lot on there.
Oh, great question, John. I bought the entire line several months ago, growing to love them. What are you using the satin paint, such as advanced flesh tone paint for? Or we do have some satin ones. Yeah. What do you use those for in general? Any suggestions?
Basically, whatever you're going to paint that needs that color. There's nothing really that special about them. The artists from the Signature line that really wanted satin paints tend to use like the whites, especially for like final highlights on metals and things, because they have a little bit of the reflective quality like a metallic will, so they work good for that. But other than that, it's just really because some people like to have more shine to their paint than I do.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason they're there. So I use them for everything. I use advanced flesh tone on skin just like I would normal colors. That just kind of brightens up that whole face.
Okay, got you. So Coxie, to clarify, like a slightly tattered texture I want, and it's on a full robe with a hood.
Yeah, so I think using a kind of hatch marked texturing with your paint application from the brush does a great job of that, and then you can kind of get however tattered you really think you need. But it's going to be that texture that you add that really does it, that keeps it apart from like other solid things you might paint, right? As opposed to here I'm just doing the highlight on the upper part, and here I glaze the whole surface of it there to make it brighter. And I keep touching it right here, which is screwing it up.
Ghost Hunter, I was asking, what is a good shadow color for pink? Red? I think red would be good. Like a dark...
More purples I prefer, but red can work. Like dark plum could work really well.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like purples underneath pink for shadows. Just the same way everything else.
Jinx Art, thank you for that raid. Welcome in, raiders. Painting up some Warmachine today.
But okay, so if we were painting, I've got some gray here. So if I've got, what do I have that's cloth that I could show you real quick? All right, let's take his cape.
Those guys are needing some reprimes.
So, when we base, nothing special you have to do for cloth versus any other color. Just put a base coat on it.
Yeah.
Super easy. And then it's really, as you start adding your midtones, start thinking about how much texture you want on it. Usually when I'm painting cloth, I use a little bit more of what I call an open brush stroke, meaning it's a little more loose, a little bit more textured. And that's going to help to give you that feeling. The thing with it is that you want to kind of pick a directionality first. So if I'm going to do this, when I do this fast, it's always going to wet blend, so I apologize. You may not get the full effect that I want to have happen here, so I'm not going to mix the colors, but I'll go in with neutral gray over the dark neutral gray or the dark warm gray like this, right? And on this, I would probably pick a brush stroke that kind of went this way, right?
Yeah.
And just use a very, what I call a very loose brush stroke. So I'm putting texture on there because the brush is creating a pattern as I go. But keep all of your brush strokes going the same direction as it counts for the way the fold is. It'll change here because it loops around. But then as I keep adding color, I want to make sure I'm doing that at the midtone, and I'll exaggerate it here if I can, right? Where I'm just taking swipes at it and pulling that color. And same thing up here.
Jinxstart, again, thank you so much for that raid. We appreciate it.
And then as I go to a brighter color, like bright neutral gray, this is going to be very high contrast to get the point across, right? But as I go to a brighter color, then, if I can keep it from doing the full-on wet blend thing like this, then I'll just narrow my texture down, and with my line weight being a little bit thinner. Right. And then when I punch in on that, you can see that by creating those textures and starting with your midtone, it's going to be glossy because it's all wet when I'm working that fast. But as you start doing that, then your outcome is going to give you something really nice that will look more like, let's find something that's, I don't know that I have any flat fabric because I know you said specifically yours was more flat.
Right.
But most of what we deal with around here has a lot of wrinkles to it, but you can see you get a little bit of that texturing, right, once you pick it. Here, you've got really heavy burlap texture, where I've gone and created a lot more contrast in here because I wanted this to feel like it was really worn. And so I've used brighter colors and left darker spots open. I've done some cross hatching where I've got vertical cuts through it so it looks more like burlap or really beat up cloth. And then on the red where I've done it, I've made it a little bit to where you just get the slight brush stroke going down. And so that's the way I will vary it and give the idea of different kinds of cloth, whether it's super beat up or smooth and new. The brighter you make it, the more it will look like it shines. Maybe for some eldritch cloth or satin, something like that. But other than the texture for cloth, it's really the same. Now, you can do stippling for cloth, too, if you want it to be more like wool. We've talked about that in the past. You just kind of apply your paint in a looser dot pattern.
Yeah.
And so you can start that with the midtones as well, lay a good solid base coat down, and then you just start doing this and applying your color like that. And then you would go in, and when you want to work towards your highlights with it, you just apply the same kind of a stipple pattern towards the brighter part of the model, and you just constantly would do a stipple in the area where it gets brighter, away from the darkness, and then again with the highlight color, same thing. And you would come in and, again, just kind of use it and stipple it towards the brighter section. So you're still staging your color correctly. You're just doing it in a way that makes it look softer. This would be what you would do for maybe something like wool, right?
Yeah.
And so you can do that and get blends that still go from dark to light, but are going to make it look like it has little pilled up fibers as opposed to lengthwise thread.
So on the hood, would it be best to put the texture going down each side or pulled towards the front if it had a hood? That's kind of tough, right? Because you don't know what the hood is doing.
It's difficult to describe this, but typically the way that I like to paint is across the fabric, right? because it gives you more definition. If you go up and down along with the fabric, you can get away with that too. You saw me do that on that red, but I went across on the rougher spots. If you want it to be a little bit more worn, going across breaks up the flow of the fabric. If you go with the flow, like it's a cloak that hangs, and you go vertically, it can still look good as fabric. But if you go across, it breaks up the visual and makes it look a little rougher. So either is fine. And then on the hood, you have to think about how that would be assembled, right? And I think it goes around. I think the texture goes up and down rather than front to back on that most of the time, just because of how the fabric would be. So that's probably what I would choose.
Nice. Okay. I think that answers your question, Coxie. Hopefully it does. If you're just tuning in from that raid, welcome in.
Welcome, everybody.
We're Monument Hobbies. We make all the stuff that you see Jason using here, all the hobby paints, pro acryl, and the brushes. We don't make the models, but you know what I mean. Shailene says, question, what are ways to create a quality rusted metal? Like a rusted pipe.
Are you painting with metallics or non-metallic?
Oh, the twist. Jake Start says, love me some pro acryl. Nice.
Jake's good to see you. We are doing some fast metals and reds on this Kador jack for Warmachine.
Okay. So Shailene says, can do either, not set on either. Okay. For rusted metal.
So I typically paint all of my rusted metal as if it's not rusted first. And then I add in a glaze of my rust color, which typically for non-metallic metal, I would be doing like burnt sienna.
Yeah.
Right. And taking that almost like a wash, very thin glaze, and applying it to where it goes into recesses and a little bit on the surface. And that will generally give me a really good rusted effect. I can show you in just a second.
That's also a nice little methodology that Jason did a while ago. That rusted metal.
Yeah, we've got some applications with metallic paints where we do underneath. The metal will paint underneath the metallic with rusted colors, burnt orange, yellow ochre, things like that. And then dry brush the metallic over the top. That can work really well. It's not realistic because rust sits on top of metal, not underneath, but it looks really good and goes very quick. So depending on how fast you want your effect to occur, that can be a really great way to do it. I'll show you all of these real quick once I get this brush load of paint done here. I'm highlighting this the same way I would for non-metallic as far as like my lighting direction. It doesn't have the same visual contrast because of the shine of the paint, but once we put the filter on it, more of this will be visible.
What kind of filter are you going to do on that, Jason?
Something like probably petroleum brown.
Oh, petroleum brown.
Maybe one of the new one-step colors, nice. Something like that. Okay, so talking about rust, if I'm doing things in non-metallic,
yeah,
then you have stuff like what we've done here, where I'll just do dark neutral gray, bright neutral gray, and then I'll do a wash of the burnt sienna over the top of that, and let that give the rusty feel, and then go back and pick out a couple of highlights with the bright neutral gray again, just to get the pinpoint light because it's still metal, but then I can give it a very big overall metal. Rusty feel, and I've done that in spots on here. Same thing that I would do with verdigris, paint the thing copper and then give the verdigris as a wash over the top of that and then re-highlight it. So that's one way. And then you can be as specific with the placement of the rust as you want. I did this one just as a wash so that it accumulated around rivets and spots. Like if something were rusty and then got wet, right? That's the way I kind of liked it for him. So that's gas and more of a non-metallic way. For metallics, like this troll, the ability to go through and stipple the rust colors on him. So the first thing I did was, it's prime black, but then you go in and with a dome dry brush, like our DD2, like this, I'd go and I would do burnt sienna and I would just smudge it all over where the armor was. Then I'd go back with yellow ochre and smudge it on there. And so now you have an orange and a yellow smudged all over the model, and it looks really silly. And then you dry brush with the same brush, the dark silver and silver over the top. And then that gives you this look. So you can get a really, really nice, rusty, dirty metal look using metallic paints in almost no time. It took maybe 20 minutes to do this model, right? Not including like the skin and stuff, but to do the metallic armor, it's very quick. You need to do that early in your process because it's very messy. And you don't want to like paint the skin and then try to do that around the skin.
Yeah.
But that works really well and gives you a very, very good look for dirty armor. You get that really nice haze of rust in there. Not as realistic because again, the metal is over the rust. And that's not how rust works. Rust sits on top of the surface, but it's realistic enough to where it really doesn't, nobody's going to question it. Everybody's really going to love it. This is something that gets a lot of comments when people see it. And for the amount of effort you put into it, it's almost insane. So.
Hickman said you would start playing Warmachine again if you can find a group. That's how it goes, man.
Like my favorite game of all time.
Is there just that one white emblem on there?
Yeah.
Was that just? Can you remind me what the white emblem was? It was just gray, right? It was bright. It was gray and then bright neutral gray.
Oh yeah. No, okay. I used dark warm gray and then neutral gray, bright neutral gray.
Okay, got it. Okay.
There's no white. No white was harmed in the making of that white emblem. It makes it dirty white. Then we put a filter on it. Then we'll highlight it with white at the end of the day.
There you go. It does.
But you anything that is the brightest neutral color on your model will appear to be white. So that's why I'm always saying paint white without using white. You save yourself a lot of hassle.
But you could come back and one step the rust on that though to fix that, couldn't you? Question mark.
To
fix
what?
You talking about Pikmin? You talking about the rust example he was talking about?
I mean, yeah, you could use one step rust over that in place of the most people don't have it yet, so is why I don't mention that.
All right, let's go back up to
only the lucky few that were adept down.
What techniques do you think should be learned when first learning how to paint miniatures? Should I master one before moving on to the next one? If yes, when would I know that I mastered a technique? Would you recommend also learning how to draw simultaneously?
Oh boy, there's a lot packed in there.
Big question, but good one.
I'm going to start from the back. Would I recommend learning to draw always? That's not a realistic expectation for some people. Being able to paint and being able to draw are two completely different acumens. And I don't have any hesitancy in saying that. I can do both. Both are, if you can learn to draw and learn to create in volumes, making on a two-dimensional surface a three-dimensional image, it will only help you in painting, period. So the better you can draw, the better you can realize your ideas into some form of display like that, the better off you are no matter what. But it's not realistic. So no, I would not say that in order to be the best painter you can be, learn how to draw. I don't think that's realistic. There's a lot of people that are being very honest with you when they say they can't draw a stick figure, but those same people might be able to paint their butts off when it comes to painting miniatures. I always make the joke that in the tattoo world, I would run into tons of people who couldn't draw to save their lives. And you ask yourself, well, how in the world were they good tattoo artists? Well, because the aspect of coloring in a tattoo and being able to do line work on a tattoo has nothing to do with your ability to create the design yourself unless you want it to, Now, would I go and get a tattoo from somebody who couldn't draw? Probably not, because I'm wanting tattoos from people who can create the image along with me. I would draw it, they would draw it, we'd work together on it, and I want that from the artist. But there's a lot of people who I guarantee have gotten tattoos from artists that couldn't draw to save themselves, right? And nothing wrong with that. So, you look at it from all directions. As far as what you might want to focus on to learn first, as a new painter, I think that the way I always put it is, yes, there's a technique you need to learn first and foremost, and that technique is staying in the lines. And I don't want to make it sound too duh, but this is a thing that a lot of people miss, right? The right amount of paint in the right location is 100% what painting is about. Now, that's a very broad statement, because the right amount of paint in the right location can talk about everything from contrast to volume to all of your lighting, all of your color, all the choices you make. Always has to be the right amount of paint. It can be the how you glaze, how you blend, right? But it starts from the simplicity of make sure the brown boots are brown and that there's no brown outside the lines of the brown boots. Because the first thing that will help at small scale miniature painting is discerning what items are what on the model. So it starts with keep the paint inside the lines. It's that simple. Treat it like a 3D coloring book. Get really good. When you ask, how will I know when I'm done? You'll know, because you won't have paint where it's not supposed to be. Very simple. But it's something most people poo-poo because they're like, I got this. And it's like, really? Do you? I go to competitions and see a lot of models that I'm like, this would be great if you hadn't smacked the yellow right here where it's not supposed to be. And they're like, oh, I didn't even see that. It's like, no, because you feel like that's something you don't need to pay attention to. You need to pay attention to it. I do it. Everybody does it. So, staying inside the lines, creating color where color is supposed to be is the first and foremost way to do it. Then beyond that, it really is something where I can say what the journey of a new painter might look like, but everybody's going to be different in that journey. If you have the right group of people around you, you may learn more advanced techniques quicker. If you come on our stream every day, you might learn more advanced techniques quicker and bypass some of those early techniques. Is that a problem? Probably not.
Yeah.
A lot of people would start out by base coating, much like we're doing here, where we just put the right color where it's supposed to go. I put the bronze where the bronze stuff is, the silver where the silver stuff goes, the red where the red stuff goes. Now I'm highlighting the bronze, right? And so I get shinier bronze. But a lot of people might just go red, bronze, silver, and then put a wash on it, and then do a dry brush highlight and call it, I'm done. And that could be it. You could just base coat, keep the paint inside the lines, put a wash on it to create some shading and some volume, and then dry brush to create some highlights, and you got a great painted miniature. So a lot of people might progress that way. And so what is the technique you should focus on? I think is the one that intrigues you, that's going to allow you to feel like you're having fun learning and painting. Because the biggest drawback to learning anything new is not enjoying it. Just 100% right. If you start and you pick up a model that you're really, I would always paint models you're excited to paint. Don't ever just, until you're further along, don't ever just pick up a model you don't care about. That happens later. That happens where you're not necessarily needing the model to carry you through. You're leading into a new technique that you want to try, and you just want it on a disposable model. So the model's stripped from the equation. The brush maintenance and the things that you're doing and manipulation of the technique is what's important, so the model stops being an issue. But early on, the model's an issue. Paint things you like. Paint things that as you're putting color on them, you're like, that looks rad, because that's going to make you push to learn the next new thing. So rule of cool, stick with models you love. Paint with colors you love. Regardless if it looks right on the model, regardless if it looks like the picture of the Space Marine on the box, paint it whatever color you like. Don't worry about pink Space Marines not being a thing. Paint them pink if you love pink and you want to learn, because you will learn better with the tools you love. And so you'll push yourself further, you'll learn new things, and you might find yourself doing advanced techniques much sooner that way, and then really enjoying the hobby, as opposed to trying to follow some rule that I tell you that, okay, the first thing you have to do is grab something with a lot of skin, and let's learn to paint skin. And you're like, I don't care about skin, I want to paint Space Marines, or whatever it is, right? Fur, or whatever. So rule of cool, and just let it go, and start painting as simple as you feel like you want to get the job done, and then start adding in techniques as you find out about them. Maybe you watch our show, maybe you watch somebody else, maybe you hear about something on a podcast. There's so many avenues to learn new things and discover in the hobby right now that I think just kind of ride that line and find out what sounds cool. Somebody goes, what is this non-metallic metal I've been hearing about? And then go try it.
I think that answers the question. Good stuff. There you go. That's Jason's TED Talk. And scene.
I feel like this whole stream is my TED Talk normally.
I think so.
I have the longest ongoing TED Talk.
That's specifically about miniature painting hobby. I would concur.
Oh, we talk about life, the universe, everything.
What's the percentage ratio on miniatures to life?
I think miniatures are life, so 100.
Nice answer.
You can't fool me. Not today, Satan.
Whoa! Death by Cupcakes. A bit random, but any tips for painting realistic wood? That's a great question. Not random at all. This is the place to ask.
Again, textures are your friend, right? When painting things in natural environs, rock, wood, dirt, any of that kind of stuff. The nice thing is that you get the ability to really be loose with your brushstroke, a little bit more artsy, if you will, so that you can create the textures that it would have, bringing in the grain and the feel of rough. I always try to envision what a thing feels like when I put my hand on it, and I paint to that.
Yeah.
So I know that feeling, putting my hand on the side of a tree has bumps and cracks and things like that, so I'm going to paint bumps and cracks.
Bumps and cracks.
Whereas like metal, I'm trying to keep my brushstrokes fairly smooth because I can imagine it being more smooth than not. Definitely more smooth than like a tree trunk, right? So, I may be doing hash marks here as I do my highlight, just so I'm keeping it able to blend in with the background, but I'll smudge it with my finger to smooth it out. And then I've got more of a smooth transition of shine from my darker bronze to my light bronze. But again, it's really up to you. To keep it realistic is all about color with wood. Color and grain is where wood realism to me comes from. If you are asking
color and grain,
because every type of wood has a different grain. If you're looking at an aspen tree, if you're painting the internal like heartwood of the tree as opposed to the trunk with bark, having a good reference is always your best bet, so you get the color.
Yeah.
Right. I typically am just like, wood's brown, and I paint it brown. And then I put some green and maybe some orange on it or whatever to liven it up. We did this guy, and he's like a wood sprite fairy dude. And so I wanted something that was kind of a yellowish brown bark.
Yeah.
Something that was not quite fully dead, has a little bit of green left to it, but, I use Payne's gray in the shadows. So this isn't colored to be realistic. And the sculpt has some pretty good graining to it. But I went in and added greens and oranges and things like that so that I could get a modeled color, because I feel like nature being outside, there's a lot of opportunity for other colors, whether it's mossy growth in a wet wilderness or, orange from being burned or whatever it is. I just kind of play around with color. And then khaki as a highlight kind of a thing. And something like this can be really cool. But again, and a lot of times in fantasy, I'm not worried about realism. I'm just painting, whatever can read as wood, and accentuating the grain. And if the sculpt has it, I do that. If the sculpt doesn't have it, we'll paint it. We did the surfer girl, and it was just a surfboard. You can imagine it being a fiberglass surfboard, but I wanted wood, so boom. So we painted all that by hand, and be able to give it a natural, kind of oak or something. I don't think you surf on oak, but you get my drift, right?
It's kind of like
or something.
Yeah, it's that printed oak or whatever. It looks like wood though.
Yeah. And so that's just something that, I wanted to do. And is it realistic? I don't know. I put knots in it and, wavy lines. I'm like, when the eye wants to recognize wood, it's like wavy lines and knots. So there you go.
It looks good.
Boom. Done.
There you go.
Wood.
How to paint wood.
Somebody would look at that and go, there's not a single wood on the planet that looks like that. I'm like, yeah, well, I still win.
Justin PK says, so let's say we prioritize staying inside the lines. But must it also be mastered first, or is it okay to know it must be done before you're ready to call it finished? So at times you can go back and fix it later after you work on things, if that makes sense.
I think staying in the lines is something you need to be paying attention to from the beginning, because it affects the quality of what you're doing and makes it feel like you're messing up if you don't do it. So if that's what you're asking about specifically, I think you need to master that first.
Okay.
I would be very adamant about telling a new painter in a classroom, master staying inside the lines first. It's a very positive way to look at it, because you're like, yeah, that's easy.
Yeah.
Good. So master something you can get good at. That way, every application of color you make on a model is starting from the right spot, right? You're not causing yourself more problem than you need to, because you're putting it on in the right place. You're not getting the bronze on the red all the time and then being like, God, I got to go back and fix the red now. And then you get the red on the bronze. It's like, this never ends. That's when people stop painting.
This never ends.
I mean, literally, that's when I know people that stop painting. They're like, I just couldn't do it, And it's because you get into those things that just feel so frustrating. And I'm like, yeah, so don't allow yourself to get frustrated. Learn how to paint inside the lines. Make that something that you're very capable and confident in doing and very satisfied that you got there.
Just paint inside the lines.
100%, man. Right amount of paint in the right space. And don't be afraid to say that I'm working right now and just keeping the paint where it's supposed to be. Because as soon as you do that, you'll be better than 90% of the painters on the planet.
But what does it mean? What does it mean?
It teaches you so much about brush control because you're going to have to get into very tight spaces to do the paint in the right place, right? And so you're learning about how to maintain the brush point so that it gets you where you need to be without splooging all over the place. You know, how to move the brush so you don't get paint where it's not supposed to be. It's such an integral part of what we do. And so that's why I say don't think of it as being a lowly thing to focus on. No, put the right amount of paint where it's supposed to go. Get good at being inside the lines, and you've learned so much more that is very hard to teach because it's the thing that forces you, you know, to say, oh, I don't need paint there, so I need to turn the brush the right way to make sure I don't get paint on the area I'm not looking to get paint on. And so now you've just learned some brush control that you didn't think about originally. Whereas if you start worrying about color right out of the gates and you're getting color everywhere, sure, now you maybe understand what blue goes with what, but it's not very helpful if you can't put it where it needs to be. Then you start thinking about lighting, because the biggest thing we're trying to do as painters is recreate the idea of light. That's what putting a highlight on things is. You know, all the shine that we create, all of the way we move our lighting around the model is creating that realism. And so you're learning to place light where it doesn't exist. You're painting a photograph. You're trying to imagine this warjack in some sort of battle on some battlefield with certain types of light and certain direction of light and all that stuff. And so you really do want to just focus on, okay, right amount of paint in the right space. And then after I've got that nailed, then I'm looking at, okay, where do my highlights and my shadows go to make this look like, you know, part of a moment in this warjack's life. Because if you just leave the color, you know, you just paint red and you get it on there, it's going to look red. That's going to be great for when you're just starting out. But it's going to start looking very flat and one-dimensional when you start comparing it to all the models that got you into painting in the first place. Because there's not going to be a highlight where there needs to be a highlight, you know, and it's going to be all over the place. And so instead you want to look at, okay, how do I start painting where my shadows are in one direction, my highlights are in another, so it gives it volume and makes this thing on the back look round and spherical and things like that. So that's the next step. But as you start out, that's not even anything you worry about. Just put paint in the right place. Super simple.
Jojo is first-time chat. Welcome in. How much is a non-painted figure worth?
$5 million. I don't know.
$1.2 million.
An unpainted figure?
Yeah, that's a tough one, Jojo.
I mean, you know, this guy costs $80 in a box that you haven't even been put together.
Yeah, that's true.
And if I put them together, does it make the value any higher? Probably not. So I don't really know. It's worth whatever somebody will pay for it. So if you've made one and custom sculpted a model, that could be worth thousands and thousands of dollars. You know, if I were to call up Joaquin Palacios right now and say, hey, I want you to custom sculpt me this really cool figure I have in mind, I'm probably paying him $2,500 to $5,000, maybe more, for a one-off sculpt that nobody else would ever have, that's mine, that I can now paint and have this pride and joy on my shelf that nobody else will ever get because he won't sculpt it for anybody else. So there's that world. And then there's the models we go buy and they're worth whatever you paid for them. You know, I bought these secondhand and they're worth virtually nothing.
There you go.
They're worth everything to me because I get to paint them. And then I get to go roll dice and beat Chris's face in with them.
Whoa.
Yeah.
There it is.
You heard me.
I don't plan on losing again.
Well, you already did once, so you're getting used to it. So, yeah, the smack talk. That's the part. That's what I'm here for.
Where's the boo sound?
Oh, here we go. Boo.
Boo. Get bet, Chris. Thank you, little Billy.
He even tried to cheat.
Stompy boy, stompy boy. Now, to be fair, my cheating was not intentional. It was
he hacked the app. I don't
even
know how he did this.
God, that's what that was. I have no idea.
It's so crazy.
And it just happened to happen to me, right? Had to happen to me. Like, well, Chris, these technically have 14 health, not 20, but your app says 20.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing. He was cheating without knowing he was cheating. And the app was helping him do it.
The app was like, well, we've got you now. You've already printed these pigs. Regardless, it's still a fun faction to play.
It's fun, yeah. That list is really good. I think once you get the swing of it, it's going to be hard to play against.
Yeah. Let's go back to Stompy Boy here. You mentioned choosing color just now. Do you have any tips on choosing a recipe/workup? I finished assembling my whole Armageddon box, but I can't seem to just pick a paint and put it on the model. Oh my gosh, Stompy Boy, you're preaching to the choir. Jason, how do you figure out what paint to put on your model?
I always start with the basics. What do I want the Army color to be?
Yeah.
Like, what are you painting, the Space Marines or the Orcs?
Yeah, okay.
Out of the Armageddon.
That's a good question. That's kind of where you start. What are you painting, Stompy Boy?
Because they're both very simple. GW has given us...
Orcs, Bad Moons.
Bad Moons, yellow. Bingo. There you go. So you got to start with the yellow bit.
I was going to say Stompy Boy, I'm going to assume is playing Orcs with that name.
Hey, you never know. They come out and they surprise us every now and then.
Stompy Boy, I'm playing the most refined army possible.
Bad Moon's yellow is their main color.
Yeah.
And so if you're painting yellow, I start there. I probably, with Orcs, figure out what kind of green I want the skin to be. Are they darker? Are they lighter? For me, when I'm painting yellow, that's already probably going to be a fairly bright color when I paint it. I'm probably going to do darker green skin. So that's where my brain starts moving, right? I'm going to glaze some silver now.
Yeah.
A lot of water on the brush. Yeah, I'm going to go right over this thing that we painted here, right?
Yep.
So that you can see, like, when I'm glazing, I'm still going to see color from underneath.
Yeah,
Right? And so that's going to help me do the top of this metallic. Let me get back to a point here. So that I can brighten up the top.
Huh. Yeah.
Without having that heavy brush stroke that metallics will leave a lot of the time.
There you go.
I can still use my finger to smudge it a little bit.
The finger smudge technique.
Yeah.
Nice, okay.
So that gives me a
shiny.
Nice shiny. But yeah, that's where my brain goes. I'm like, okay, I want to paint these Marines. They're going to be Ultramarines. Great. I know I need to paint them blue. Pick my blues. Great. Okay. Then what? Then what are my accent colors going to be? What's my metallic going to be on the shoulder trim and stuff? Is it bronze? Is it gold? Is it silver? What am I doing? And so I just go down the stairs of thought process on, okay, well, what's my next accent color? And I don't typically plan that much, so I'm actually lying to you because, Chris is laughing internally.
What do you mean, playing?
I literally look at an army and I go, okay, this is Khador. What am I going to do this time? I painted Khador green, white. I've never painted them red wholly in a long time, I don't think. Maybe a couple of individual models, but never used the full-on red for my Khador. And so as I'm doing this, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to paint them red. And so the only thing I'm worried about sitting at the table for the first day is getting the right red on the model. That's literally all I do. And then when I get the red dialed in the way I want, then I start worrying about, okay, like yesterday, everybody was laughing at me because I like, you're going to do non-metallic metal or metallics? And I whip out the metallics, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but we're using these.
Yep.
So I don't have as much of a plan. I don't let it bother me. The model will become what I need it to become.
That's a good truth, though.
But I just kind of start with the overall color of the army. So you already have Bad Moons figured out. They're yellow. Go. Done. And then the other colors will just happen as you need them to.
Dial back. Thank you so much for that sub. We appreciate it. Devin over here on Facebook. Do my Pro Acryl paints need to be thinned down in an airbrush? I bought the Mega Set and have used it with brushes, though I'm not good, and I just bought my first airbrush. Probably going to suck with it. Devin.
Hey.
Welcome to the beautiful exploration.
Yeah, definitely. Great question. You can, and I suggest you do, as you're starting out with an airbrush. If it's your first airbrush, like you're saying, I would suggest that you thin your paints for airbrush. How much you thin? I typically say about 50-50. What you'll learn very quickly is that by thinning Pro Acryl, you'll wind up in a situation where you don't have as much opacity as you want some of the time, and then you'll stop thinning as much. When you watch me do my base coats, I very rarely thin my base coats, and then I start thinning as I go brighter, because the brighter colors cause more contrast. So you want to thin them down so you can add them more sparingly and control them better, so that you don't just overload the model with brightness. But those are more advanced ways to look at it. I think early on, thinning it allows you to make mistakes. Because when you apply the color, having it not be as intense as you might want it is the better way to do that, because you're going to spend a lot of your time learning to airbrush, getting the right amount of paint in the right place. Because it applies paint a lot different than a brush does, and as you're learning how that works, having fewer oopses is always better, in my opinion.
We like fewer oopses, Jason.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the machine is already daunting because you got everybody whispering in your ear how to do it, and
yeah, there's a lot of noise out there.
Then there's too much noise in the hobby.
Well, do this, do that, do this, and then maybe it'll work.
Yeah. And so instead of, letting all that take over, just, thin your paint, and I'm a big fan in the airbrush of telling people to over thin.
Okay.
Erring on the side of caution, meaning that, if you over thin, then you can always put another layer on and that'll be fine. If you under thin and the paint is too opaque, then you're screwed.
It's complicated, but it doesn't have to be.
No.
That's the point. Hopefully that answers your question, Devin. Beef Berkey says, question in regards to brush loading. I'm having the issue of too much water diluting the paint blob on the palette. Is it I'm placing too much of the brush in the blob? Question mark?
You should not be thinning the blob of paint.
Wait a second. Not thinning the blob of paint on your palette.
Right.
Okay.
Don't thin the blob. Let me show you.
Don't thin the blob.
We have a video that Chris could point you to if he was adept. I don't remember. The one where I pull the tail out and show you how to...
I know what it is, Jason. Oh, I know. How much paint is what it's called. How much paint I should use. Oh, blammer. There it is right there. That was how
Go over to the palette real quick.
Oh, I will go to the palette.
See my silver that I'm working with? I'm diluting it because sometimes I'm glazing with it. Sometimes I'm doing opaque with it. I take my brush load of water, wipe it off once. I have a lot of wetness on my brush right now. I never go into the blob of paint. I always just touch the side of the blob and pull it down here. And that's why you see all of my paint has a droplet of paint and then a spot where I do all my swishing around. This will spread it out flat. It'll dry quicker here. It won't interfere with the blob. The blob's always the way it came out of the bottle. Just this tail, I call it, is now diluted with the water from the brush. That doesn't go back into the spot. It only does this edge and dilutes the paint down here. Get used to doing that. Only do that when the internets. Win the video game.
I just placed that video he was talking about, the short and the long version. We have two videos that are very related to that. Devin says, what's the best way to learn how to use the airbrush while minimizing blowing through all my paints?
You're going to use paint because you're going to be practicing. So you're going to be painting more as you're learning than you would in normal circumstances. So there's no good way to get rid of that.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you use the paints that you don't use as much, number one. That way you're not running out of your favorite paint.
Right.
But no, there's not really, the kinds of things that I tell people to practice on are doing lines. We had a brief interlude in the stream the other day where I showed being able to, with the airbrush on like a piece of paper towel or something, use a dark color and airbrush out a square so that you can get used to the control of the airbrush to make a tight corner.
That is coming out, by the way.
Right? Mm-hmm. And then fill in the inside of it smoothly to where you don't see the place you move the airbrush. Because with the airbrush, you'll see as you fill it in, right, you'll get this snaky thing because you're going left, right, up, and down. And so you don't want to see this. Get used to where you can paint the square, fill in the square to where it's even and you can't see the direction you move the airbrush. You shouldn't see any squiggly lines or more opaque and less opaque areas. You should just be able to, once you're done, fill it in, and it looks like a completed square. When you can make it look like that with your airbrush, then you're getting good. And then you go and you airbrush straight lines and make them parallel, do circles, do letters, do the whole alphabet. You're not trying to paint the alphabet. You're trying to paint those angles. You're trying to get the airbrush to go in those directions, to be able to start and stop so that you can make the triangle of the A and then stop and then make the crossbar of the A and keep it straight. You're trying to learn the mechanism of releasing and applying pressure and running the trigger correctly so that you're pushing it forward before releasing air so you're not getting spatter. You're learning all of that and doing those techniques. Does it waste paint? Sure. Because you don't want to paint the alphabet on a piece of paper towel, but that's what's going to make you a better painter.
Also, that video, that paint no paint zone, is an amazing tip. to get you started. So go check that video out too. That really helps. I think it's helped a lot of people.
Millions of people have seen it. Literally, I think.
Yep. It's up there.
One of our biggest ever watched ones. It gets a lot of, well, actually.
Well, technically, you're not using an airbrush. I don't know. I couldn't think of a silly comment. But they're out there. Details for the question. The specific model has 3 light sources, each of different color. Going back to D-Roll. Okay, let me put both of your questions here together. Do you have any specific content you can refer me to on OSL? My last attempt resulted in me repriming the whole model. The specific model has 3 light sources, each of different colors.
Oof.
You know what?
Are you confident with OSL? Because that's a heck of a one to start with.
That's tough.
I'm not trying to dissuade you. I'm just asking a question. How confident are you in your skills for glazing and such?
Oh.
Because when you're doing lighting like that, you're needing to be able to glaze. You can do it with mixing and layering too, but typically your glazing skills need to be very, very good to start doing very realistic OSL, especially when you start adding multiple light sources, right? The thing that I have a problem with that is that multiple light sources are very difficult in reality to get all those lights to show on the model. There's generally going to be one that's more, that's brighter, and is going to take over, and then you have some secondary lights. And so I'm hoping that's what you're planning on doing, because that'll make it a lot easier overall. But we've been talking about this a lot lately. Mm-hmm. With regards to how do I set a model up for OSL. We've been having a lot of people ask.
Yeah.
And our challenge in July is doing environmental lighting, and on the Discord, if you're not familiar. And doing environmental lighting a lot of times evokes that OSL beast, right? Because people are like, oh, well, if I'm going to do something that's in this weird nuclear sunset, I need to put those colors of light on the model, and I'm not used to doing that. I'm used to painting my model like I'm painting this one in just white, white, yellow sunlight. And so I'm just used to painting colors the way colors would normally be seen by the human eye. And if I'm going to change that, I need to figure out, okay, well, you can blend your colors that way, right? You can make your color palette work to the color of a sunset, right? So you're using a lot of oranges and magentas and yellows and stuff in your color palette as opposed to your normal color scheme. So that's one way.
OSL is a tough one, huh?
It is tough to get right. You know this. You tried to do the OSL on the axes and everything with your Custodes, right?
Yeah.
And you saw how hard that was, because it can look like spilled, lemon juice or
it can
whatever.
Get a little too much sometimes.
Because you overdo it. And it's a very subtle thing to accomplish. And it really relies on you painting the whole model differently, because the light isn't going to be able to stand out if the rest of the model, like especially on something like Custodes, where you were biting off a lot because you're in a gold armored model.
Yeah.
Or gold or bronze. So you have metallic paints that are standing out and being very bright, and then you're trying to shove a color of lighting on them, and that gets harder too. So like a model like this would be hard to put OSL on, because I'm using a red and a bunch of bright metallic. So where does the light fall on this,
Yeah.
And so when we show lately it's been the cave girl, right?
Yeah, and she's a great example, though.
Daedra the Wanderer, because she is, spelunking in a cave. And so notice how my coloring that I've chosen for the model is very monochromatic, very greenish browns. I'm not really trying to make the paint stand out for the pants and the armor on the legs and the tunic and the chest plate and all that. The color doesn't matter to me. I want it to all be muted tones that are acting more like what happens when you turn the lights off. So here, this model is just in a cave. Those colors are not very interesting, right? It's like, oh, that's a drab model. Well, that's because, boom, this is what you're trying to create, right? You're making this is the important part, that low glow of a torch, right? And so I have torch light that starts working up at the top, the same way I have on this side. This is 2 light sources, right? So this one I have this eerie glow of a cave water and cave mushrooms or whatever it is, right? And so here I've used transparent green and transparent white to give a jadish color. But again, if I take the light away from it, it's going to be hard to do this. Let me do it like this. If I take that light away from it, then the colors really are bland and drab, and that model looks horrible. But then you put the light in, and now it makes sense. Now you know why they're drab, because the only thing that's really visible over here is the few things that reflect that color of light.
Right.
and everything else is not really even carrying. So I don't put a lot of color in there, and you let the color of the light do the job, right? So I basically just base coated the model, maybe a little bit of highlight, but let the highlight be the color of the OSL. And when you start doing that, then it's good. This is a very advanced technique because it asks you to do things completely differently than you've learned to paint. Because you're used to painting like a base color, a mid-tone, a highlight, you know, and then expand off of that for everything on the model to get your volumes looking right. When you're painting OSL, you want to strip all that back. You want to just paint the base coat and maybe a real low dark highlight or mid-tone on it, and then add your color as the highlight for where the light is so it looks more like spotlighted, because that's where you're going to get the visual impact of it. So,
in the spirit of what is a vehicle, what is and what isn't environmental lighting to Jason?
The only thing I've said you can't do is outside in sunlight. You can't paint models the way you would normally. This model is outside in the sunlight. That's what all these colors are. When we paint a normal model, that's what we're doing. We're painting outdoors in the sunlight.
Where it's just a blanket light
just
on
a blanket light. It's just light from all over, a diffused light from 360-degree bubble around the model. That's the way we normally paint. Yeah, we have shadows and all that, but you still have light.
Yeah, it's kind of...
Environmental light is whatever else you want to do.
Yep.
It could be very monochromatic and dulling all this down into neutral tones because it's a very overcast day. You know, that's going to be harder to tell somebody because it's just going to look like you didn't paint the model. So a lot of what it's going to be impactful when you show somebody is something that is a directed light, like lava glow coming up from underneath because he's in a lava cave, and I'm gonna see that because we don't have brightness on top. Like her, you know, it doesn't take you any time at all to recognize where she is. She's in a dark environment, right? If I show it to her like this, she's in a dark environment. We can imagine a cave, we can imagine a dungeon, you know, some collapsed castle, whatever it is, you know, some Dark Souls environment, because I painted environmental lighting on her. It's all OSL. Well, this isn't. This is OSL, but it's not on the... Obviously, we have a torch, but this is from the environment.
Yeah.
And so by having this, you know, and you can envision it in an environment. Now, whether or not I have the same vision as you do, maybe I said cave and you said castle, you still get the same thing. Dark area, she's the only light source, right? So that's it.
Yeah, 3D printing... Flight says, since I got a 3D resin printer, I have new problems. I have more models than I
more
paint.
Models than you know what to do with, 100%.
We like the need more Pro part because that means you're painting.
Yep, more models, more painting.
I've been actually very much enjoying 3D printing myself.
I have a love-hate with it.
I have come to actually really enjoy the process, which is shocking because I didn't think I would. I actually love doing it.
Yeah. If it is a definite pay attention hobby. It is not something that is ready for mass consumption.
Yeah,
even though we
tough.
like to think it is, it isn't, because most people will screw up the models they print, and then and once you do, you either get frustrated and throw it away, or you batten down the hatches and say, I can do this.
Yeah.
And then you become a really hardcore hobbyist for it. And when you do, it is amazing.
It is really cool. I've really enjoyed
the output is still not ever going to be up to commercial snuff. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
You can't beat the physics. You can't make that heat cure resin be stable enough to really do good miniatures over a long period of time. This one that I'm painting right now is a 3D printed miniature. I guarantee if I leave it in my car in Arizona, it dies.
Oh, it's gonzo.
But none of the plastic will. You know, none of the plastic models I own will. Unless I leave them in for a long time. This doesn't have to be in the car for longer than 15, 20 minutes in Arizona to just wilt at the ankles and become useless. You know, and soft and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, that's the problem that I have with it. They're brittle no matter how flexible of a resin you use. You drop them off the floor, and everybody likes to show their little video of them dropping their model, and the model doesn't break, and blah, 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 blah. They're lying.
I wouldn't do it.
Nope.
I did purchase some of that, like, a hardier resin, and I found a good little brand, but still, it's still pretty dang fragile.
Yeah, it still is brittle.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of it. It's just the physics of the product itself. So, you know, there's no world where you can make it last like HIPS plastic does. And so I'm a big naysayer on that. So I'm on the fence, like I said, with regards, it's like a love-hate that I have because I love not having to build the model. The cleanup is a lot better.
Yep.
On all these, I'm able to get 50 models done in a day, whereas you'd never do that if you're building on sprue. So there's a lot of things to love. And then there's a lot of things where I'm like, yeah. I mean, I can show you models that we have here where the resin has bubbled up under the paint after years.
Yep.
And that's something that a painter isn't going to sit and stand for. Which one? This one? Yeah. Zoom in close.
Is this a resin model?
Yeah.
No
the gun
way.
is. Not the this is this okay. So this is GW Primaris when they first came out with the Primaris Marines. It is a 3D printed resin helmet, chainsword, and bolt gun.
Okay.
And so I don't know if I can turn it right. You'll see the shine?
I
see
do.
the shine right along here?
Yeah.
Right? And see that kind of like weird sparkly texture?
Yes, I do.
That's the resin seeping out of the mold. That's uncured resin after years. That sparkly, shiny crap
uncured
is uncured resin. See, the hand is part of the gun, and you can see the sparkly even on the hand.
He's just...
see that sparkle right there?
Interesting.
And all on the gun? Yeah. The rest of the model doesn't have any of that on there because it's just the freaking thing. This chainsword doesn't have it. It's just that gun because who knows? And these are done by Shapeways, who's supposedly the best in the world. Well, they suck. So, yeah, I get furious about that crap. Like, if I'm going to spend my time and paint it, the model better not be the point that fails after 3 years where the resin starts sweating.
Interesting.
Come on.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so be very careful and just, choose your battles wisely.
I
would not do 3D printed things that you pour your heart and soul in and sell for thousands of dollars to a commissioner.
I have really taken the time and let mine cure in that UV curing light system for a long time. Like 30 minutes to an hour.
But see, that can make them overly brittle.
I know.
So there's no
middle ground.
Middle ground. You can't over cure them because then they just shatter.
Yep. Let's see.
But it is great. That's why I say it's a love-hate. I'm not a naysayer. I print out and I'm painting 3D printed models right now. And all of my freaking Warmachine models are 3D printed. And some of them I love and most of them I don't. But then I put paint on them and they're great. But if in 3 years they start sweating and ruin my paint jobs, somebody's getting a nasty letter.
Brent says, what about texture trainers? Aren't those 3D printed?
They are. They're built for exactly what they are.
Yeah.
They're meant to be training models. They're not meant. That's why we charge very cheap for them.
Yep.
Right? We don't believe that they're something that now they will look great and we print them really well.
And some people, they take them to the next level. Yeah, obviously.
But that's why we do hand cast for the framables.
Right.
The framables are meant to be pieces of art. And so for those, we do those as cast resin. And not the 3D printing. So yeah, we're not trying to be hypocrites here. We understand what the tool is good for and we back it 100%. But, gaming miniatures are supposed to travel with you and be able to be good in those situations. And now that I've had that happen, I'm like, ugh.
What a bummer.
But it is Shapeways. So they use a different machine and different resin, so I'm hoping that, other models won't do that.
Punisher says, I have a question. The brush you're using, what size is it? And
4.
And would that size brush be better for most any details or painting you're doing rather than the smaller fine brushes? Essentially, could you use a 4 for a lot of what you're painting?
100%. Yeah, I think that I use...
I think that's what your question really meant to say.
For most of what I do. Something in the range of a 3, 4 is the bulk of my painting.
You don't really use like a 0 or the 00 or anything, but if there's a use case for it, that's different. Right?
Very rare. I mean, I use them.
Right.
Most of the time when you see me using them, it's to dot I's or something at the very end. But even then, I want to use a bigger brush if I can, if the model allows it, because I want to be able to hold enough paint so that the paint doesn't dry before I go over to the model. When the smaller the brush you use, the less paint it holds. The less paint it holds, the quicker that paint dries. And so usually when you're doing those fine details, you want the paint to stay flowing on the brush. So the bigger the brush is always the better. So it's one of the things that I tell over time. You'll start with a small brush because you believe you're painting small things and they require a small brush. Fine, do that. You will very quickly learn in your process that the biggest brush you can stand to use is the best. That holds a point. It has to be a good brush. It has to be able to hold a point and do the job and be comfortable for you. But other than that, yeah, I think that once you start moving into like a size 4, I don't know that I go over a size 4. I use a size 6 a lot for base coating, but I don't typically find myself doing a lot of detail work with a size 6.
I've always said that a bigger brush is always better, Jason.
100%. That's not a innuendo.
I don't know, man.
You child.
I'm just saying. Good sized brush will do you good.
You child. Paid professional, chat.
There you go.
Paid professional.
That's my TED Talk.
Yeah, I'm using, this is number 4, and I've been painting most of the models that you've seen me paint recently with it. Holds a great point, so it can do good fine details. It has a larger belly, so it's harder sometimes to get into tight locations. So I switch over to the number 2 when I need to get like in between, you know, the neck and the armor. It just might be too thick to get into everywhere I need it. So I'll switch to a smaller brush when I need to get narrower entry spots done. But for most of what you do, the big brush will work, you know, for all the exterior stuff.
Mikey explains it all. So many jokes left unsaid there. Interesting. We're professional and we're business people.
Oh my God.
We are business professionals. We run a tight ship. We are
This ship has more leaks.
We have a very
than the
business
Chinese government
mindset. I don't know about you, but we don't joke around here. We are very serious with everything we say.
There better be a lot of X's in chat right now.
I won't accept it. I won't accept
any
different.
A lot of X's
Jason and I won't
right
accept any different. Isn't that right, Jason?
I am not answering that question.
No.
I plead the 5th.
You plead the 5th?
This is a leaky boat.
Leaky boat.
It's a very leaky.
That was my stripper name.
Very
Yikes.
So,
Woo!
Jen admitted she laughs out loud every time you do that.
Leaky boat.
So I guarantee you who's laughing right now? Jen. Jen is laughing right now.
I haven't used that whistle in a minute. That little slide whistle. It's fun. That's quality whistle.
Like at least 2 shows.
All right. I brought it back. Is Jason going to drill out those smokestacks?
No, they're drilled.
Are you going to put the smokestacks on these guys?
No. The smoke clouds?
The smokestacks?
They are the stacks. That's them right there.
Are you stacking?
The exhaust stacks.
The exhaust stacks. I don't know, Ghost Hunter. We'll have to see.
What do you mean? I'm not putting any smoke on them.
You ain't putting any smoke in this?
No, the Signar ones had it, but they break too easy, so I took them all off.
Yes.
I broke them all off of the Signar ones because they break too easy anyway, and I was like, I'm not dealing with that. Alex, they look cool for a minute, but and they're still on like one of the Warcasters and a couple of the Jacks, but they are a pain in the butt, so I don't know if they'll last. I don't want to go to all the hassle to paint them and then just have them fall off, because again, they're just fragile resin.
We need a new brown color for Pro Acryl named the Ish That Chris Takes Brown. Oh. I see.
Hey now.
You're a rock star.
Oh God.
That was
you. Did you literally just do that?
You pitched it up, man.
I did not pitch it up. I don't
see how quick that was?
I don't expect for you to be that horrible. Because that was horrible.
Got it. Hey, speaking of got it, we got your attention.
That's one way.
Welcome in, everybody. Hey, if you're new around here, feel free to drop us a follow on all these platforms. Also, we're streaming to TikTok, Facebook,
TikTok,
pretty soon LinkedIn. That's not happening, but fired. I like to keep saying that. Kick, YouTube, Twitch.
I will tell you this: if you ever see us streaming live to LinkedIn,
it's going to be the funniest.
You'll know I hit the lottery.
No, Jason, it'd be hilarious.
You know I've hit the lottery. I came in and I pooped on my boss's desk, and then I streamed on LinkedIn.
But for all of you out there, I see, even though you can't see some chats because Facebook and TikTok, they kind of don't interact with the other chats. Regardless, if you ask a question, I'll pitch it up. So feel free. That's why we're here. Wad says, it's 2026. Nobody has anyone's attention. Certainly not more than what I was talking about. Hey, we've got your attention, Wad. Wink, wink.
Dun, dun, dun.
Tell that to my analytics.
Tell that to my
You've been here for an hour.
Tell that to my analytics. Oh, how
can we make that
influencer.
shirt? Because
How
it's a very
influencery of you.
Tell that to my...
Okay, Mr. Beast.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Wad, we have your attention. Wink, wink. Stay real. Stay classy? What's the term? Stay classy, San Diego, is what what Ron Burgundy says.
I quit.
Milk was a bad choice.
I quit.
Jason sounds like a disappointed dad.
Yes. You can't imagine how disappointed
He was
I am.
disappointed when he saw Leaky Boat come to the stage.
That makes the assumption I was anywhere near the place where Leaky Boat was called to the stage.
Leaky Boat. Serious question. Love these kinds of questions. Sandwich Bro, what kind of metallic mix is that almost copper brass color on the trim of the armor?
That's our bronze.
And then highlighted with light bronze.
Light bronze, yep. Bronze and light bronze is the highlight.
Check it out. Boo. Fire outside in the sun with chimney smoke at night.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
I'm mixing, I'm creating a highlight for the red. How do you create a highlight for the red? You take the color of red you used and the color of yellow you used,
You put
and you mix them together. Because the way we did the zenithal for this model was pale yellow. So we take pale yellow, because that was what the red went over. We did the filter of one step red over pale yellow and dark camel green.
Is this the elusive eclectic salmon?
No,
Oh.
maybe.
Is it?
Maybe.
Close.
We're going to see. We take a little bit of pale yellow.
A touch of bronze, oak and fury.
Right. And then we take the one step scarlet red.
One step scarlet.
Just so I can tease you again. You can't buy this.
It's coming.
Don't kill the messenger.
Don't shoot us.
And then we're going to take a little bit of water. Just a little bit of agua.
You guys get to see it first. You should take this as a fun thing. And this is coming out mid-August for all of you. Pre-release at Gen Con. So yeah, there you go.
Look at that.
Look at me.
Beautiful.
Danger Boy says, along the lines of fire outside in the sun, would chimney smoke at night or in the dark be the same thing? Sure. You're not going to see chimney smoke if it's pitch black, unless it's got embers in it.
Yeah, there might be some embers in it. There might be a glow from the top of the chimney if you wanted to add that dynamic in there and forget about whether or not it's realistic.
Dude, and if you've got a chimney that's blowing embers, you have a massive fire going on.
There's no flue.
Yeah, you are on. I'm reporting you on a non-burn day.
Oh my God! You better not mess with Chris. He will report you.
We're on fire. It's because of that man over there. Look at those embers.
Not bright enough. More yellow.
That's what they said to me in school.
Yes, they did. And they were right. Paid professional.
Well, I
not
guess
bright
I'm just
enough.
not bright enough. Flapjack, hey.
That's
24.
droopy dog, right?
That's right. Flapjack, 24 months. I guess that's okay.
Flapjack.
I guess we're using paints you can't use. There you go.
I tried my hardest and they still treat me this way.
Now, Jason, this definitely looks pretty dang close to eclectic salmon.
Well, there you go.
It's brighter, though.
That's good. I'm just showing you how to mix the one-step color with the undercoat color to get the highlight color, and this is what I get.
This is what you're doing. You're showing us a color that's not out yet, making a color that everybody's been asking for that's not out yet.
Oh, it's out.
You're making one-step eclectic salmon.
It's right here on my desk.
This one's wild because he's just hitting all kinds of you can't do this. But you can. That's the moral of the story. Can you center up a little bit for me?
No. That's the way you've treated me?
I'm just saying what everybody's about to type in the next 5 minutes.
After the way you've decided to treat me,
because somebody's going to come in here and it's like, oh my gosh,
you.
This is a dope paint. What can I use to make this? Well, it's a paint you can't buy with a color that we invented years ago that still hasn't come out yet. That's what Mo would say.
And you know what? He'd be right.
He'd be very accurate. Ghost Hunter's like, still waiting. Kevin Lee, best paint around. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. He's not wrong this time, says Double T. There you go.
Wait, was he wrong all the other times?
Maybe?
Oh, you're talking about Chris, yes.
Yes, Painting by Hill always re-ask, would you recommend using different brushes for metallics versus normal base coat paint?
No.
There you go.
Nope. Use the brush
and it's never
that you're
intentionally
comfortable getting the job done
by
with
Hill.
100% of the time. Don't use a brush just because you think you're going to ruin another brush. It's like clean your brushes and you don't have to worry about what the paint does to them. Metallic paint just needs to be cleaned quicker to get out of the brush. Not quicker necessarily, but just make sure you clean the brush after you've done your metallics and you'll be fine. I think you hamstring yourself by listening to people that say, oh, never use metallics with your sable brush. I just did. And you will use the brush that gets the job done the way you're comfortable doing the job, and you'll always get a better paint output. If you are using a crappy brush to do important, is putting metallic on the model crappier application? Something you don't want to look as good as your other paint? Then use whatever brush you want. But if you're looking to have your metallic look as good as your base coating, then use the same brush. Because the brush is just as important, if not more so, than any of the color you're using when painting.
And just doing a simple good clean, after every session is what we recommend. It's what we recommend. We
happen to make a brush soap.
We do. Oh my gosh, great segue.
That's a segue, Chris.
Hold on 1 second, because I'm gonna send you this link to this video that shows you how to use the brush soap and how to clean your brush no matter what. And it takes you right to our site. And you can get it right at that link. Mission accomplished.
That's a big sigh, Chris.
Mission accomplished. There you go.
That's a big sigh.
Let's see. You're right. It really is close to pink. Could likely get close with pink and dark ivory, maybe?
This color?
Yeah.
No. Bold pyro or orange red and warm flesh.
False. The
orange red and warm flesh. It's a salmon color, not a pink. I mean, they're similar, but you need to have the warmth of the red in there. You don't want to just go straight to pink or magenta. You need to have, if you do magenta, you're going to have to add yellow to it to get to your reds, which you can do, but it's way more complicated. Just take orange red or bold pyro red and put warm flesh in it. Boom, done. Ta-da! Bob's your uncle. I don't know why you want Bob to be your uncle, but that's the way they say it.
Where does that term or saying come from, Jason?
Britain, so don't give it any credence.
Bob's your uncle. That's right, bud. Thanks for the color mix. Sure, somewhat civil. It's out there.
Yeah, that's how we made it the first time, and then people have been demanding that we actually come out with it, so we will in expansion set 5, which I don't guarantee comes anytime soon, but Eclectic Salmon will be a color in there because it is such a fantastic red highlight that we wind up mixing so often. And as you can see, even just taking the pale yellow with the scarlet red one step gives you a color very close to Eclectic Salmon. It's what you want for reds in most cases. Something that doesn't get too pink, right?
Yeah.
That salmon highlight just works so well by keeping it on point red and not so pink. Now I will use pale pink to do the next highlight because pale pink is not too red and doesn't feel too powdery or lipstick bubblegum color.
Flapjack's asking, how do you know my Uncle Bob? That's silly. Great question, Alex asks. I've been using the old container of Jen's Tastics for a while now, and are there any benefits to buying the new one before I run out of the old?
Nope. No, we changed the formulation a little bit so that it would have a higher melting point. Because being in Arizona, the original formula that Jen came up with was susceptible to melting in 115 degree temperatures in the summer.
Yeah, it's just the
and
reality
so people
of that
might
stuff.
get it and it would be a little liquefied and it would recongeal. It wasn't a problem, but it was always just a messy experience, and we were always like, how do we fix that? And so we finally had a chemical engineer that we hired that was his job at first was to redesign, not changing any of the way the formulation worked, but to get it to constitute better under extreme heat. And he did it, and it works great.
My name Borat says, Jason, have you watched the new Squigmar Miniature Master series?
I watched some of it. Everybody keeps asking me that. I watched a little bit. I have not watched it all. Gabe was talking about it at lunch today.
Okay, Shadowcast, I'm reading your question to make sure I get it all here. Okay, Chris, you guys are awesome. Okay, we appreciate that. We appreciate you. I'm closing in on a good look for a 40K Lion. I've been watching your videos and streams for the last few weeks. You guys have very much made me a better painter. I'm almost done. Can't wait to post it in Discord. Shadowcast, nice.
Awesome.
You've been asking very good questions, so I'm hoping that is really benefiting you. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's always good to hear.
Off.
Get it done. That's what I'm in the business of that. Somewhat civil. See, I have not bought the Monument Hobbies soap. Before I knew it existed, I bought a tub of another brand. Got it a few years before I use it up. You know what? I use mine I might be using too much. Because I really like using it. I do realize I very much abuse my brushes.
Yeah.
With the techniques that I do specifically. I use big brushes. It's like our DD3 is like one of my main brushes. Because I do a lot of that stipple action. So it gets really... So
that'll beat it up and really dig the paint in there.
Oh,
so
yeah.
The amount of time you have to spend cleaning on dry brushes is inordinate compared to a normal brush. So yeah.
I use a lot of it. It's great stuff. It's awesome. It smells amazing. I freaking love the smell of it. It's one of my favorite things. Your Just Do This video is the most helpful, says Shadowcast. Yes, that's a good one. I think that one really clicked with people.
Yep, 100%.
That's kind of where we've been starting to steer a lot of our content, if you've noticed, especially with all the hobby tips. There's so many different... there's a lot of different stuff out there, but we've really found that you guys like the basic, show me the money kind of clips, right?
That's where people get the light bulb to go off.
Yeah.
They can really kind of put that to use quickly.
I don't use it as an exfoliating wash. The faces video keeps giving me the time and time again. Oh yeah, that it was definitely a beautiful example of doing faces. Just got my first set of Pro Acryl and your expert line. Nice. Have been enjoying trying them out for some Lord of the Rings miniatures.
Awesome.
The expert paints are a really culinary experience. Nice. A real culinary experience.
Wait a minute.
They're great.
Are you saying those words don't go together?
I don't believe you.
Paint and culinary experience. That's a very dangerous road to hoe.
That's a Did you say road to hoe?
Road to hoe.
You know what? Here's what I will say. This could get me in trouble. So I'm not going to say it. But what I will say...
Probably smart.
...is that you shouldn't eat the paint. That won't get me in trouble. That'll just save you from a bad taste in your mouth, I guess. Why would you do this?
Donkey butt flavoring.
Ogre says, I should get my It's Not a Cult shirt tomorrow!
Oh, it's a cult. Oh, it's totally a cult.
Woohoo! Much celebration.
It's the pro occult.
Nice. So happy for you. You're going to love it. Take a picture. Send it to us.
Wait a minute.
Wait. With the clothes on.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You know what I mean.
I was gonna say, wait.
Your hobby nerd apparel.
You have to be very.
Wait a minute.
You got to be very specific here, Chris. This
Ghost
is chat
Hunter.
we're talking to.
Ghost Hunter says, it's a cult. The FBI told me so. No, I didn't. No. Ogre.
He pretends he's in the FBI.
What do you mean pretend?
Not the truth.
Mr.
That's
President?
what pretend means.
You got him. Let's take this guy down. And by this guy, I mean the guy I'm trying to get through Jason.
It's my life, chat.
He knows him.
This is my life.
Goes deep. One day I'm just not going to show up and nobody's going to know.
What do you mean nobody's going to know?
Nobody's going to know.
We'll know. Where's Chris? He's not here. Well, we'll know. See, that's called
Well,
knowing.
no, you have no idea where I am. That's the point. Gone in a flash.
I don't care where you are. I just want to know why you're not here.
Fart in the windstorm, Jason.
What do you mean?
Strong presence at first, then gone in a flash.
What?
An old teacher of mine used to say that.
Here we go.
The
old teacher thing. What class was this, Chris?
It was
X
economics.
Is in chat, folks.
She looked me right in the eye and said, "You know what? I'm just a fart in the windstorm."
This was home economics. She called you that?
No, she called herself that.
Oh, that's the kind of people you want teaching you.
Yeah, it was good. Definitely changed my. Yes, FBI, full-blooded Italian. There you go. Chris, you must know what we'll all assume happened if you're gone, says Flapjack. Either Jason shot me in real time, or I've moved on. Or been hit by a bus. Who knows? You decide, America. And the EU, which is a great segue. If you are over in the EU, you can order from us directly from our EU website, from our office in France. Gosh, you couldn't have planned that any better, Flapjack.
It wasn't a segue.
That was good. That was good, though. That was really good. Wad said, I had a literature teacher call a student a pimple on the of society once.
Was she right?
Was she right? Was she correct?
Don't ever be afraid to call somebody what they really are. Now,
wait a minute.
If she wasn't correct,
wait a minute.
If she wasn't correct, then we have a problem.
If it gets larger than the size of a golf ball, have your doctor check it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, the guy was a menace. Okay, Wad, we'll take your word for it, mister. I trust Wad, you know. Don't you, Jason?
That's a stretch. It's the same Wad that we've met before?
Same guy, right? Later Go says, I'm working on a red Tau miniature. How about that?
How about that? That's how you do it.
I got the burnt red, bold pyro red, and bold titanium white. I think I'm set, right? Question mark?
Bold pyro red, burnt red, bold titanium white. Yeah.
You can mix that
Are
up.
you trying to? You're just saying that you would mix the titanium white in with the bold pyro red to get your highlight? Is that your hope?
I'm thinking so.
I am a big fan of looking at flesh tones. Tan flesh might be a better place if you have tan flesh. The white and the red make pink, so that can be a great highlight. Just be aware that you're going to get a pink highlight. And the burnt red and the pyro red are going to give you a really good red workup. You may want to move towards more of a flesh tone for the highlight, like what you see me using here, so that you keep the red more dramatically red. The problem with white as a highlight driving to pink is that you start to desaturate the red, and it may start looking like that powdery bubblegum color that you don't necessarily like or want, unless you're Chris and he likes bubblegum.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
Delicious. Was
the teacher referring to you, Wad? LOL, I mean, you weren't specific on who. Oh, that's true. Kriegs, they weren't, Mr. Wad wasn't very specific.
So this teacher called a kid
this
in my
guy
classroom,
who happened to be me, maybe or not.
Oh, that would really be being critical, because he came back and said, "Oh yeah, the guy was a really douche."
I know. Hopefully it wasn't. No, not me. I'll take your word for that, Wad. I'm just glad you're around, you know? I don't think, Ghost Hunter, I don't think Wad is a menace. I think he's a necessary force of good.
Wait, what?
I stand behind that.
Wait, what?
Wad says, I wasn't a good student in that class, but I wasn't...
But it wasn't that guy.
Yeah, weren't disruptive. But now, Wad, we couldn't do this without Wad. He's always saying hi. Shout out to Wad. Always giving up the old waves to the people entering. We appreciate you.
He's our greeter.
Wad's the best doorman.
Well, Wad is the Monument Hobbies greeter.
Welcome to the Church of Pro Quill. Welcome to the Church of Pro Quill.
Pamphlets around the pew.
That's a lot of waves per stream. Commando Ken. I don't want to do that math, but he's been waving.
Wow. Wow. What was that?
Are you excited for your trip this weekend, Jason?
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Went up to visit Hank and the Adepticon team. Should be pretty cool.
Redepticon's right around the corner.
No, it's not. That's a very far corner.
I just like to say that to freak myself out.
Scare everybody. Holy.
Adepticon's only in a year.
Let's go ahead and get past the rest of this year first. We still have like 9 months.
Let's skip to Adepticon. But the reason why I said that is because right here. Oops. Wait a minute. It has to be this way. It is the MAA. Check that link out that I just put right there. We're holding the Minis as Art Celebration in 2027, which is not really right around the corner, but you get what I mean. It's going to be a fun show. I'm very excited for that show. I think people are going to have an amazing time. So hold on to your butts, because we're not there yet. Technically, we're halfway to 2027, says Commando Ken. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like it's Christmas. Or it should be.
What are you talking about? It doesn't feel like Christmas.
It is July. Did Jason just mess up? What are you talking about, Ghost Hunter?
I did get some paint where it wasn't supposed to go.
Is that messing up, though, in art?
Yes.
I was really hoping for a deeper
psychological
answer.
Messing up, yes.
I was really hoping for the hippy-dippy answer, Jason.
I don't ever give hippy-dippy answers.
But, man, you sometimes do, man.
Never.
It's too hot. No. G-flat, I don't subscribe to that. The weather is all in your mind.
It's another lie.
If you believe it's cold outside, it's cold. Burr. It's all a mindset.
That is not true.
I don't want to hear it. El Nino.
You're legally insane.
Legally, technically, and legally, after 4 p.m., I might become a little bit insane. Sometimes I get a little.
I don't know
loopy.
what this wait till 4 p.m. nonsense is. Is it 4? Almost.
It's almost. Time flies when you're.
That's crazy, actually.
I know, dude. That's good stuff. The weather outside sure is frightful. Yes, it is El Nino. Yes, I get a little loopy sometimes when there's weather. And by loopy, I mean my head feels like it's a watermelon. No, you can't cook an egg right now, Black and Stuff. Can't cook an egg. We got big storms coming. Get ready.
It's still 104, so you
Is
might be able to cook an egg.
No, I think it's got to be at least like 110 to do that. It is 105, and it's humid. Look at us complaining about humidity.
As you should. It's horrible.
Yeah, that's why we live here.
We didn't move here for humidity.
That's right. We didn't
moved
move
here for the dryness.
Cold. We didn't for the humidity. Cydia says the 4 p.m. rule is caused by El Nino. That's right.
Uh-oh. Don't let Gabe watch this stream. We're the ones stuck here with that guy.
Yeah.
He comes over here and freaks out on us.
He's like, my name's Gabe.
You better call 911.
Almost let Jabe know last night El Nino was here. Ryan, you should have.
You should have. What the
my
heck?
son, my boy.
Wait a minute.
My son.
Only when he leaves the office. Only after he's gone. I don't want to have to deal with that.
Oh, he'll be fine. It's a storm. We can call it whatever we want. El Nino. It was very windy yesterday.
It was crazy.
Up by my house,
Yeah, it was crazy.
there was haboobs everywhere. And very windy.
Welcome to the life of a teenager with Chris.
I stay indoors when that happens, that's for sure. Yeah, it was raining, it was pouring, the old man was snoring, we get it. That's a wrap on El Nino, okay? Meeple says we're experiencing 73% humidity. Yikes. Ew.
Is that even real?
Some people are going to be like, well, I have 98% humidity. Isn't 98% humidity you're just in a pool?
It's just raining.
Yeah. That's not what that means. Like somebody's like, yeah, it's got 90% humidity over here. I'm like, aren't you just wet? Are you just, yeah, it's just raining at that point. Somewhat Civil says it can be 90% humidity and not raining. Welcome to Kansas. Does Kansas get that humid?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't actually know that, to be honest.
It can be brutal.
Why is
in
that?
the Midwest
I wonder why.
and central U.S., it can be brutal.
I guess it's just how the weather pattern is there, I guess. Interesting. Wad's like, well, technically, no, that's not how humidity works. Why don't you inform us?
Don't.
And then I banned you.
Don't ask him to do that.
Battle Corgi Studios. I live in New York. North wet pallets are completely North Carolina. I live in North Carolina. Wet pallets are completely unnecessary here.
Yeah. Too much humidity. Paint's trying really hard to want to dry in very humid areas. A lot of lines on this guy. Not gonna lie.
You have a lot of bits and bobs and highlights.
A lot of highlight areas on this guy.
How are you going to finish this army, Jason?
What do you mean, how am I going to finish it?
Oh,
What are you talking about?
I was expecting, because you put yourself in these predicaments. It's like every time you do one of these, it's like more highlighting.
That's kind of the game. They do have a lot of things, though, like rivets and...
As you keep going on this model, it just keeps getting deeper and deeper. There's
Oh, yeah.
nothing wrong with it. It looks amazing. But dang. That's a lot of models.
This list that I'm planning on building doesn't actually use a lot of models.
Oh, that's different.
It's got 2 normal heavy warjacks that are the size of this one, but not this one, unfortunately. The Colossal. So we'll have the big guy. And
Yeah, so we did see the Death Jack Ryan. It is big.
various and sundry troops.
He's got a lot of little metally bits. Like there's a guy over here that I'm seeing, this elf thing, this massive wing thing you got going on.
The Phantasm.
Yeah, those wings are big. That seems like it's a heavy model. Is that all resin?
It's all resin, yeah.
Holy Moses.
All resin.
I'm not picking that up.
Pretty sloppy resin, too.
Oh, really?
Not going to lie. That was a pretty sloppy model.
Why is it sloppy? Just like a lot of...
There's a lot of spots on it where the resin was like not fully cured or...
Oh, my goodness, but look at...
It's a really neat model, though.
Base. That's why. Okay. It has a huge tactical rock base.
It has for a Colossal to have a tactical rock, yes, it's a lot.
That is a lot of resin for that tactical base.
Yeah, the base I forgot
There's
about.
smoke in there too.
That's like all the weight of the model is that base chunk.
One of us. We're getting to that point where we're getting into the after hours portion of the stream. So anything goes.
That's not really how that works. You always say that, like you can get away with murder.
I never follow through on it,
after 4
though.
o'clock, and that's not how that works.
After 4 o'clock is when we start streaming to LinkedIn.
No, we don't do that. I don't know why you have this infatuation with LinkedIn.
It's more because I just think it would be funny for us to be painting miniatures on LinkedIn Live. That's what I'm getting at.
I'm not even interested.
But that's what makes it interesting. You know?
Ugh. This is my life, chat.
Dilemma, have you seen Crashed Airship Terrain they released? It looks cool, but I'm not paying that much.
From who?
Are you talking about from GW? Oh, is there a whole thing where there's pre-painted terrain now?
They're coming out with it, yeah. If it hadn't hit
How are they doing that?
What do you mean?
Like they're just, who's painting this?
Well, when it gets printed that way.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So you can put it on those big, I don't know, they're not dye sublimation printers, but big printers that'll print the face of all that stuff. Like a lot of people have done like the hard card stock terrain or the MDF terrain, and you can print straight on it.
Ah, UV printing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You know that printer we have that prints the brush handles? Same thing, except a big, larger bed. I mean, technically, that printer that we have would do it.
Warmachine. Okay. No, we haven't seen that. Crashed Airship for Warmachine.
Nah. Like a balloon airship?
Super Duper says LinkedIn is where you're going to get your business. Well, that's the joke. Super Duper. Would be very, very serious business.
Wow! I did not paint that knee piece.
Knee piece?
Yeah, his knee joint there didn't get silver on it. I could have sworn yesterday I got all those.
Oh.
I think last night.
It was El Nino.
A gremlin came in here.
It was El Nino.
A gremlin named Chris.
Ghost Hunter says, hey, Jason, you missed a spot.
Yeah, I did.
Thank you, Ghost Hunter.
Thanks for reminding me yesterday when it was relevant. Jeez.
Shadowcast says, just be Jason in a beige room and a PowerPoint. Great for Chris to settle down with. That's right. Oh, now you're getting it. Now you're seeing the potential of the funny meme. Chat.
It'd be so horrible. Not even interested in any of that.
That was key. I'm switching over from GW and two thin coats, but I'm struggling how to paint with Pro Acryl. I think it's because I follow their main guides and I just follow it. Yeah, Jason, for somebody switching over, what's the best advice you have for someone switching over?
Oh,
because we do get this question quite a bit, so you're not alone.
I think the the best advice is to just kind of start with what you know with the paints you've used and paint that way, but don't be afraid to try new things, because what you'll find is that you don't have to thin our paints as much as others because we're just ready to use right out of the bottle. A lot of paints out there, the ones you mentioned and others included, are thicker, and so they need to be thinned just to flow correctly. Ours don't. And so you will fight them if you thin them as much as some of the other paints you've used before, because then they're too thin and then they don't feel like they're doing the job you want them to do. So I typically just say a little bit of moisture on your brush and dip it in the paint and start painting. And you'll be surprised at how easy it is to get things done with little to no effort with Pro-Acryl.
There you go.
Like everything you see me do is just a little bit of moisture on the brush. I'm never actively thinning unless you see me glazing or something. Just a little bit of moisture on the brush keeps the paint flowing, but it doesn't have to be much at all.
Brent, take it easy, my man. Have a great night. Everybody stay dry out there in El Nino.
It hasn't even been raining. It's just been hot.
Oh, it's been raining.
No, it hasn't.
Yesterday it rained.
So that's not today.
Oh,
you just told people to be safe out there.
I mean, who knows where they're at?
You should be safe out there, but it ain't raining.
For some people, it could be.
Oh, my God.
Bring up those weather calendars. Charts. A touch of moisture, says Spaznap.
It's a touch of something.
Double T, my kiddo just asked me which Lord of the Rings movie to watch first. I have failed. No, you've never failed, Double T. What a great experience to share with your kid. Other than you guys, what else fun is there in Phoenix, Arizona? Well, we have an array of different things. Let me tell you.
And a one, and a
I'm
two,
your concierge. Let me show you the way. Phoenix, Arizona. It's great.
Scottsdale's got some neat stuff. There's stuff all over the place. I'm not a touristy guy, so I don't even know what we have.
We have a very, specifically in the Phoenix Valley, like Scottsdale and Arcadia, we have a lot of good stuff here in the Valley of Phoenix. There is a massive amount of things to do. Obviously, golfing in Arizona in the winter.
Come at the right time of the year.
Yeah, in the
golfing, but
right
you'll pay so much money to do it.
If you can bear the heat, this is the best time to actually golf because it's so cheap and you can get anywhere and practice.
World-class courses. I don't golf, but
yeah, this is when actually I do most of my golfing. Because I can afford it. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. There's a lot of hiking, which we don't advise to do in the
stay hydrated
in the summer. They actually spend marketing dollars to tell people not to hike. They literally do. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
they're like, you know what? Actually, we don't really encourage people to hike in the summer ever. Yeah. People are like, let's go hiking. And they're like, why? You're going up in elevation and you're not drinking 2 gallons of water. You'll die. Don't do this.
There's a lot of people that do. They don't listen. What? Humans don't listen to the warnings? What? Don't eat the paint? What?
So yeah, there's good stuff out here. And then you have us.
I say they led with that, though.
We're the fun.
They said other than you guys.
Well,
there isn't anything.
No,
you just come hang out with us.
There's plenty to do.
You just hang out with Monument Hobbies. It's that simple.
There's many good, fun areas here to hang out. But yeah, if you like golfing and painting models, Arizona's your place.
If you like golfing and us, then we got you covered.
Those are pretty much my hobbies.
And you better like us more than golfing.
You want to know what's an important thing, though, Jason?
What's that, Chris?
When it hits 4 p.m. Here in Arizona,
Chris is able to do whatever he wants.
Clip it, clip it, clip it. Somebody clip that. Send it immediately. Clip it.
It's not true.
4:01 p.m.
It's not true.
MST.
It's not true.
He can do whatever he wants.
Incorrect.
Call
the cops.
We'll edit this part out. Call the cops.
Ask the law.
Ask the law.
Johnny Law. Is this man able to do whatever he wants after 4 o'clock?
Technically, I can.
He's like, technically, yes.
Legally, I can as well.
Responsible for his actions. That's all we ask.
What is it like? We're own city state or what is it called? Like where the law does not, abide to us. What is that called? I'm drawing a brain fart. That sanction. No.
That's when
there's like when a city or like a state or something like breaks away, and it's like their own thing. There's a term for it that I'm brain farting. Sovereign state.
Yeah, if you're your own sovereign, but then you have your own laws. You're
right,
not like an anarchy.
I don't know. That's right. In the room, in this studio. Specifically, this 20 by 15 room.
Jen and I saw a thing that in England there's like a little island that floats out, man-made island. It's like an old derrick or something that's offshore, and it got taken over because it was abandoned. It got taken over, and they turned it into a sovereign nation.
What?
Yeah, it's called Sealand.
Martial law.
It has a prince and a king and all that stuff. And they have their own sovereignty, and they keep it alive and running. And Germany came and tried to take it over. Some Germans came, flew a helicopter on there, took them out and held them hostage and kicked them off. And then they came back, or they came in a boat, and then they came back in a helicopter with guns and took their derrick back from the Germans. And
what?
And they're worried that the British won't recognize their sovereignty and come back. But when the Germans came, somehow in that whole thing, they kept one of them hostage, and the German chancellor flew to the place to negotiate the release of the German that they had kept there. They kept one German there who had been extremely rude to them and forced him to clean the bathrooms.
What?
I can't make this up. But by going there and talking to them to get the prisoner released, he inadvertently recognized their sovereignty, and so they are a nation state. And they have constituents, because one of the ways they keep it alive is they sell royal titles to people for like $350, and millions of people buy these titles to become a duke or a duchess, because they give you a 1 square inch part of their platform and give you a royal title for it. Yeah, we watched it on like 60 Minutes. It was hilarious.
What?
Yeah, funny.
You're blowing my mind. I've never heard about this.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's called Sealand, right?
I will have to figure that out.
It says it's mostly a grift, but it's funny. It's like, it seems so hilarious.
Thank you for clipping that double T. It's just my proof.
No, there's no proof. That's not how that works.
We're going to Sealand. How do we get? We're going to move Monument Hobbies headquarters to Sealand. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah. All right, so we got a good mid-tone edge highlight going on. A little bit more.
That's cool. Did they play in the World Cup? I don't think so.
I think they have like 3 people.
How many total?
Yeah. That actually live there. I mean, nobody lives there anymore. I think they said that one of them passed away, and there's a couple of princes left. It's literally tiny.
Is it called Sealand?
Sealand, I believe.
Oh my. That's it?
It's a derrick, like I said, not even like a old like.
In 1967 was founded as a sovereign. Oh my goodness.
And they've kept it going ever since.
Sealand official. Oh, they got a website.
Yeah, they sell free. They hosted porn sites out of it. They had a server network room there for a long time. Is how they survived.
What?
Yeah, they hosted porn sites and other things that couldn't get hosted everywhere else because they were an independent nation, so they could do things that most nations wouldn't have done. So they did all these crazy things.
We could become a lord and lady, Jason. Wait a minute. Oh no, the truth revealed. Interesting. That's very interesting.
I don't make this stuff up, man. I mean,
it is. It does have a 60 Minutes episode.
Sometimes I do. Yeah, we just watched it.
No.
It was literally like 2 nights ago, Chris.
This is fake. Fake news.
I'm not fake.
That's crazy, though. Let's see. Let's bring it up on Google Maps. What the heck is going? What is this?
It's exactly what it says it is, Chris.
And we're worried about not going live on LinkedIn, and people are making countries. What's going on here?
Jen said she knows what we'll do if we ever win the lotto.
Start a country?
Yeah, we've always talked about having Slowfusium, and we had our own economy planned out on the stream years and years ago. We could have a lot of fun with it. We'd get bombed totally. Like they would come for us. Like they would not let it happen. They would not let it happen.
Come on.
They'd be like, that guy, not a chance.
No. How about no?
We're taking them out.
That's funny. Interesting. All right. Well, the Mo you know.
We know Mo.
Where's Mo? I haven't seen Mo in a bit. Hopefully you're okay.
Hopefully
Mo.
he's doing okay.
Chris, do you not know about micronations? I did not know about this one. I have heard about micronations before, but I have not heard about Sealand, and that's kind of facts that I would probably know and find very interesting.
That's a pretty good 2-stream workup. I feel like a whole army would look pretty good like that.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Are you kidding me? Is this kind of where you want to leave it?
No, we'll do washes and stuff to it, but this was just a good color test.
Yeah. And overall, that's really cool.
I've done a mid-tone highlight on it with this color, and then we will do the wash on the
right.
metallics and see how that looks. I don't know that I'll put a filter over the red, and then we'll go back with the pale pink. Because when I do, I'll show you real quick, because when we do pale pink on the armor, much like with our Space Marines,
yeah.
The doing the 2 highlights is what really brings it apart, sets it apart, brings it to life.
That's cool though. If Monument started its own country, what 3 colors would the flag be?
Okay, you know what, chat? You're gonna go berserk.
Oh no.
Our flag would be pink plaid.
Oh, no.
100% pink plaid. 100%.
Wow. Of course it would be.
100% pink plaid. Why wouldn't we?
Yeah, Shadowcast, absolutely. You can always do that. You can always tag us over there in Discord and show us stuff. 100%. Pink plaid and dark purple, says Vipus.
Well, the pink plaid would have dark purple in it. That's the whole point.
Pink plaid, huh?
Yep.
With the M in the middle, says
T.
Schmidt. Of course.
Give them what they want.
Give the people what they want.
Monument Town.
Very crazy that thing exists.
Chris, I can't believe you're so blown away.
I mean, specifically with this one.
We literally had Mormons in our state that went and fought with the freaking Mexican cartels.
Yes,
and
I've heard about that.
This is the part that you're having a hard time with?
Yeah, I don't know why this one's speaking to me for some reason, because it looks like something I would go do. And by do, I don't mean the state itself. It's just like on a little island. It's not any land, though. It's not land, technically. Right?
They have their own international waters.
That's wild. Because it's underneath them or by them?
Well, no, they have a radius around it that you can't travel in because it invades their sovereignty.
But who gave them the permission to start?
It didn't belong to anybody, so they can go and settle it the same way that America was settled.
But who made it?
What do you mean who made it? The British did.
Okay, so wouldn't it technically be the British's?
They abandoned it, and so through the laws of abandonment, it can exist.
So this is
they're
like
only
major...
worried about Britain wanting to come back, and they're not going to do that.
It's like major squatters' rights.
Yeah. Well, it's not even squatters' rights. It's been abandoned. It got abandoned to the point to where nobody's even paying attention to it. So.
But then people got a part of it, man. Crazy. But it just, you could have made it look more like a country. It's just like a big barge-looking thing.
Yeah.
Let's, do some fake grass. Let's get some AstroTurf up there.
Oh, my God. Here comes Feng Shui.
Come on, man.
Let's go. You know what we need to do is make it look good.
Make it look like a country. Let's go.
It's literally like owning a lighthouse.
I'm going to run for president.
It's really cool, but it doesn't have a lot going for it.
On 60 Minutes, it was the perfect country. But then it all went to barge. Gilborn says, what does a country look like? Go Google it.
No, he said, what does a country look like?
No, go look. I just told you, go Google that. Google that exact phrase and you'll get something. Typically, if you throw something in the Google machine, you get something. Is it right or wrong? Who knows? That's what Philip, our fact checker, is for. Oh. Philip's not here. Philip, we have more models for you to build. Isn't that right, Jason?
Where did Philip go?
Philip's still here. Philip's right there and just said facts. That old cat. That fax cat. There you go. That fax cat. Philip builds a good model. He's a good builder.
He brought them all back, Chris.
But he redeemed himself.
By doing what?
By building that one in front of you.
Oh, that's true.
Monument Hobbies houseboat in 2027. Let's go.
Can you imagine? Like, we just have a houseboat in the middle of the Atlantic. Anchors away.
Here we go. Vote for me. Philip says, I'm all right. I just take too long to do it. I see.
We're not going to have democratic elections where I come when we do Monument Bill.
You wouldn't?
No, not a chance.
You have stated that here, though. You are a powerful, all-knowing
dictator
here on the stream.
Rule
One might say...
fear.
Wait a second, Jason. Let's go back here. You said this houseboat thing, right? Yeah. Double T, right? So technically there's a ship or a boat.
No.
That you're talking about.
No.
So you would technically be the captain of that boat.
King, dictator,
the
Lord God.
Who on the ship is the Lord God, king of whoever on the ship. The captain is always that.
It doesn't move, so it's not a ship.
But technically, there's water under it. So one
possibly.
Would say
there's technically maybe water under everything. You heard of aquifers?
So one might say that you are the captain, and the community of which this thing would lay upon would be, I don't know, our community, like the chat. And then somebody has to help navigate or float upon the chat and be the ship. I think I landed that plane.
No, that's horrible. All of that was extremely horrible.
Was it that bad?
Yes.
Yes.
100% yes. It's that bad.
Is it Thursday yet? Ask the therapist what he thinks.
I'm not talking to that guy.
Let's talk about your mother.
You gotta hold the button down.
Hey, whoa, now. Sometimes you just gotta hold the button down. It's fine. Uh-oh.
He said, what?
That's all the time we have for today.
Oh, well, there you go.
Wow.
He said that's all the time we have for today, Chris.
That's it. That's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote.
Chris is trying to say he wants to be the rubber of the ship. I know. I want to be the ship. I am the ship. Jason's the captain.
The barnacle.
You
of the hull
are the water beneath the ship.
Chris is the barnacle on the hull.
Let me get my finger. You, chat, you wonderful people, are the ocean beneath our ship. You are the wind beneath my wings. Technically.
Don't ever do that again.
That was pretty good.
That was pretty horrible.
I think deep down you're like, you know what? This Chris guy, he's okay. Yes, I will change those batteries out. Rattlecan, thank you for the reminder.
He the other day was going to do it, and then he said, oh, no, I don't need to. Look, it works if you stand upside down, stick your tongue out, and hold it long enough.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy talk you just said there.
That's literally what you did.
The wind beneath my wings. It is 4:20 p.m.
We're quitting.
No, keep going, Jason. You're good. This has been a successful stream.
How do you measure success?
How do we measure success? Here's what I would say. A lot of good questions today. You showed a lot of cool techniques when it comes to glazing metallics, so I think that was a good win. There's been some really foundational questions that people have been asking.
Chat always has the best questions.
We found out about this little country, so we all kind of learned something. I bet
Little educational.
I would say 50% of you out there had no idea what Jason was talking about until we dove deeper. There you go. So somebody learned something. We entertained the people, right, Jason? And by we, I mean you, and by you, I mean I, and by I mean the greater good. We didn't get flooded in by El Nino.
We didn't, because it hasn't rained today.
Not yet. We had a successful stream on multiple platforms, including Twitch, Kick, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. What else? I think that's...
Nothing lit on fire? Yes, correct. Nothing is burned to the ground yet.
I don't measure success about the whole fire thing, because everybody's like, well, something didn't catch on fire. That doesn't count. So there you go. I think it was a successful stream. Hopefully you all enjoyed your time today. I did.
Stiltsville in Florida, but they don't let anybody near them anymore.
Stiltsville?
El Nino is flooding your swamp right now, Ghost Hunter. No, stay safe. Stay safe. We got a lot done. We got to a point where you can start to see how workable this looks once done. We need to clean, or not clean, but dirty the metallics up now, because they're just very bright and shiny. Too shiny.
Philip, that's a good point. We can't count lack of fires as success, but we can count lack of flooding. This seems biased. I don't know. I just think it was successful.
Thank you for hanging out, everybody. Is Chris still painting orcs?
No, I think you meant Jordan, and Jordan will be painting orcs on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And we will not be here tomorrow, so take note.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We're gone tomorrow, but we're back on Thursday.
I forgot about that. There's no stream tomorrow.
Yep.
We have a corporate meeting tomorrow, so unfortunately Chris and I are both in that, so we can't join you for the stream. We don't have anybody else. We don't have a B team. We don't have a B team. So Chris and I will be gone tomorrow. We'll be back on Thursday, and then gone on Friday.
Yep, that's right. And then we're back on Monday, and we're going to be painting. We're going to finish up that orc that Jordan started a couple streams ago.
Yep.
So
we will have one more. There's only one more stream this week, so guess what? You know what's going to happen during that stream. Or is it going to do that? Oh, yeah, it's only one more stream.
Technically, that's true. Wink, wink, nudge,
nudge. So wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know what happens on Thursday, too, chat, because it is the year of the giveaway. And we have not done it yet this week. So guess what? Do not miss Thursday.
Giveaway. Yeah, there's always a giveaway. It's the year of the giveaway. What are you talking about, Kriegs? I didn't want to just be blatantly in your face about it, but there's a giveaway on Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Make sure you join us. If you're new around here, came from one of the raids, thank you so much for hanging out with us and watching some paint dry. Remember, we do this normally from Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. This is a little bit of an odd week because we have our corporate quarterly tomorrow.
Yep.
And then I'm gone on Friday to the Adepticon barbecue, so I will be up there painting. I'm actually teaching a class on Saturday, which will be a lot of fun. So I hope to be back here on Tuesday's stream, but Jordan will be here with you Monday, and I'll be here on Thursday with Chris again.
Yep.
So a little bit of a break in the schedule, but we'll be right back at it. So make sure you hit the follow and the sub button, depending on what channel you're watching us on. We stream all over the place now.
That's right.
Facebook, Twitch, Kick, YouTube, TikTok, not LinkedIn.
Not LinkedIn.
Not LinkedIn. So have fun, guys. Make sure to check all the links Chris put in chat there. Jump on the Discord, join our community over there where you can get access to us and lots of amazing insight and inspiration daily with over 7,000 amazing artists just like yourselves. We'd love to see you over there. And stick around. Chris is going to find you somebody to raid for more hobby goodness as you go off into your, what is today, Tuesday? Your Tuesday evening?
I'm a little
Tuesday
I'm all
evening?
over the place right now.
So enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening. Don't do anything we wouldn't do, and we will catch you back here on Thursday. Remember, no stream tomorrow. We'll catch you back on Thursday. Adios, guys.
Bye.